Have you ever seen that video?
No.
Pull that video up, because it's one of my favorite.
It's a huge disappointment, and it's sad every day.
I'm delighted to cross to Rosarito, Mexico, where we're joined by our friend, Thomas Markle, the father of the Duchess of Sussex.
Meghan was born, and she was born as a C-section, so she was put in my arm. I was the first person to hold her. Her little hand went around my fingers like that, and I fell in love with her, and I had been that way for 40 years.
There is a theory that's been out there for a while. It's been floating around. Royal fans are convinced Meghan Markle is lying about her age. In fact, they think she's older.
The way that she talked to my father, he knew it was over. He didn't know his daughter anymore because she talked down to him like he was nothing.
Okay. Am I there?
I really do miss her.
I hope you're having the best birthday you've ever had. Thank you for everything.
How can I fix this? How can I fix this?
Are you worried that Harry and Meghan might end up suing you for something you say, given you know they're very friendly with their lawyers, aren't they?
Well, they can sue me, but what they...
So here's the bombshell nobody expected to fall out of a dusty teen magazine. Meghan Markle's real age? Yeah, it might not be the age the palace PR machine has been spoon-feeding us for years. And the craziest part? The receipts weren't uncovered by some top-notch investigator or a sneaky royal insider. No, this little time bomb was sitting there in plain sight on page 90 of 17 magazine, March 1997. That's right, the same fluffy teen mag that used to tell us which boy band heartthrob matched our star sign just casually dropped a nugget that could blow up Meghan's whole carefully polished timeline.
Samantha Markle has never told me a lie. Every single thing that she has said about either you or Meghan has checked out.
But let's rewind. Enter Thomas Markle, Meghan's dad, the man who went from the proud father of the bride to the royal family's unwanted truth cannon. For years, he's been tossing shade, hinting, and flat out accusing Meghan of not being entirely honest about her past. And now, he's got math on his side.
I think she's taking advantage of a very weakened man and getting him to say things that you just shouldn't be saying on.
Here's the twist. Meghan's official line has always been that she was born in 1981. Cute, right? Fresh millennial energy, the perfect modern Duchess storyline. But that 17 magazine page listed her as 21 years old in 1997. Do the math. That doesn't put her in 1981. That would make her birth year around 1976, which means when the palace introduced her as a glowing 36-year-old bride, she may have actually been stepping into St. George's Chapel in her early 40s. And let's be real, in Hollywood terms, that's not just a little white lie. That's an entirely different casting bracket.
A legend in her own mind. She's playing this part out like she's God's gift to the world that everybody's supposed to.
Now, why does this even matter? In royal PR, everything is about image. Meghan wasn't just sold as Harry's wife. She was packaged as the glamorous, worldly, but still youthful outsider. The press hammered that modern 30-something bride angle into the ground. But swap those 30s for 40s, and suddenly the fairy tale narrative wobbles. It doesn't scream fresh new energy for the monarchy. It screams midlife duchess trying to bend reality.
Disrespected Queen Elizabeth from the get-go. She mocked the Queen. She came into the royal family and thought she owned the place.
And then there's Thomas Markle himself, out here practically saying, I raised her. I know the math, it doesn't add up. Normally, dads defend their daughters. Thomas? He's like a one-man subpoena. Every interview feels less like a family heart-to-heart and more like an episode of court TV. And every time he talks, the tabloids salivate.
Now, like I said, Meghan did it to me, and now Harry's doing it to his father. That's a cold thing to do. And it's even more cold to do it to the Queen, who's in her 90s. None of this makes sense.
And this is where things get really juicy, because page 90 of 17 wasn't just some typo, and it wasn't a Reddit fan conspiracy either. It's ink on paper sitting in archives for anyone to see. And if that contradiction is real, then what else in Meghan's glossy, carefully polished backstory has been, well, edited?
Own personal gain and her own personal PR. Nobody's going to believe it because nobody does. Everything that comes out of this woman's mouth is just garbage.
Fans have gone full detective mode, piecing this puzzle together like it's a true crime podcast. They've dragged out old alumni photos from Northwestern University. Meghan supposedly graduated in 2003, a bright-eyed 22-year-old. But here's the catch. In that salsa club group photo she's smiling in, many of her classmates are now pushing their mid-50s. So what's going on? Was Meghan just hanging with the older student crowd? Or does her timeline shift around more than Harry's accent when he's on a podcast?
She told the royal family what she told Harry. Wouldn't have jived, wouldn't have been consistent with...
And don't think the palace hasn't had its own paperwork games. Remember Archie's birth certificate? At first, it listed Meghan's full name, Rachel Meghan Meghan Markle. Then, poof! A few weeks later, it was suddenly changed to just Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. Palace officials brushed it off as consistency. Fans weren't buying it. To them, it looked like another carefully placed brick in the dynasty's wall of image control.
They're using the kids as pawns. My father has already given up. And it's just like, I'm never going to meet those kids. King Charles is never going to meet those children.
Now, anyone who's brushed shoulders with Hollywood knows that shaving a few years off your resume is practically an Olympic sport. One casting agent once admitted that the second an actress turns 30, half the roles vanish. Trim 5 years, and voila, you're back in the audition pile. So if Meghan was really closer to 30 than 20 when she was hustling for roles, the temptation to tweak the numbers must have been massive. And let's not kid ourselves, Hollywood has been pulling this move since Marilyn Monroe ditched Norma Jean. The only difference? Meghan wasn't just chasing a movie role, she was reaching for a crown. And then came the memes. Oh, the internet had a field day. One viral joke claimed Meghan must have graduated high school twice. Another fake 17 cover did the rounds online, plastered with 21 going on 15. TikTok went into overdrive, side-by-side comparisons of magazine scans, graduation photos, and timelines stacked up like evidence boards in a Netflix docuseries. And the question trending louder than ever, how old is Meghan Markle really? Meanwhile, Meghan herself, total silence. No clapbacks, no interviews, nothing. Depending on who you ask, that's either genius PR, don't dignify the rumor, or the shadiest dodge in royal history. And honestly, the silence makes it worse, because the longer she doesn't address it, the more people assume she can't. And the palace? Oh, they hate this narrative. Insiders whisper that this is chaos in its purest form, because for them, control is everything. Every outfit, every anniversary, every family photo op is stage managed within an inch of its life. A question mark over something as basic as Meghan's birth year? That's not just messy, it's dangerous. It pokes holes in the monarchy's biggest weapon, credibility. If they can't even keep birthdays straight, then what else is just smoke and mirrors? And here's the kicker. It stops being just a Meghan problem. Suddenly, it's a palace problem. This age mystery cracks open the door to revisiting every other carefully polished royal storyline. Diana's heartbreak, Prince Andrew's scandals, Harry's rebrand from rebel to responsible dad. If the palace can sell one edit, why not others? The public starts to wonder, how many of these fairy tales were really second drafts? Legally, let's be clear. It doesn't matter if Meghan was born in 1981, 1976, or the moon. She's married to Harry. She's the Duchess of Sussex. Her kids are in line for the throne. The law doesn't care. But the monarchy, it doesn't run on law. It runs on public trust. And right now, that trust is wobbling harder than Harry at a Vegas pool party. Because once the perception takes hold that Meghan's age, her timeline, or her entire brand was part performance, it sticks. Critics say she's the actress who never left the stage. Supporters fire back that she's just being unfairly targeted like every other woman in Hollywood. But no matter which side you're on, the story has legs. Now every single birthday headline is tainted with suspicion. So next time you see Meghan Markle beaming in some magazine spread about her modern fairy tale life, ask yourself, is this the real story or just another draft polished to perfection? Because if a single magazine page can shake the monarchy this hard, imagine what the next receipt could do. And that's the cliffhanger, the royal scandal that won't quit. So tell me, do you think Meghan really shaved off a few years? Or is this just another shiny distraction in the palace's endless PR game? One thing's for sure, the truth doesn't just threaten to rewrite Meghan's past. It could rewrite the monarchy's future.